What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to do a quick educational commentary on some 3v3 gameplay from Evoker. I know some of you guys have been asking to do some 3v3 stuff, and this is I kind of like doing these like educational type commentary. So maybe you can pick something out, whether it's offensive, defensive, positioning, CC. This is a comp that's going to be just doing a lot of damage. Just so you guys know the build that I'm playing. This is like kind of like my hybrid damage healing build. I have mostly healing talents, but I threw in the living flame talents, the disintegrate talents, and a little bit of extra dam, So that's what we're going to be running into this. This comp that we're going to be facing here is Outlaw Rogue Red, kind of an uncommon composition, and I also just going to be throwing in Scouring Flame because it's Restoration Druid. But these are some very good players. So regardless, it's going to be a high damage composition, and that seems like what the meta is. Whatever comp can do a lot of damage, that's what's going to work. So right off the bat here, we're going to get Echoes off. I do not get the reversions. Okay, generally every game in a perfect world, you're going to be rotating through Reversion, Burn Embrace, Dream Breath in that order, because you want to make sure you get the Burn Embraces off before the Dream Breath, so you take advantage of the Sarah talent. And then in between that, you throw in Echoes and Spirit Blooms when necessary, but ideally that's going to be the basic rotation that you're going to be going through. So I wish I did get the reversion off there, but I didn't. We got a nice massive viz off the sap, so that's going to give me time to get the shroud off. You never want to pre-shroud versus rogues. Obviously, they just triple sap it off, unless you can have a way to get in combat. All right, so right off the bat here, we do get a poly. Unfortunately, it breaks. This would have been a way better go if we didn't break the poly there, but we get a stun onto the red. As Evoker, take advantage of every opportunity to play offensive. Okay, it doesn't have to be anything crazy. It could be what I like to do in a minimal way, if I don't have like too much time to contribute, is Fire Breath 1 tick and then Living Flame, because that Living Flame, but one Living Flame should be a little bit large because of the Scarlet adaptation talent that stacks your next Living Flame up. So I held it there. At that point, we're not going to kill, so I'm not going to bother doing anything else crazy. Another little note here, what I just did here is life bind. Okay, life bind is, you got to take advantage of life bind in 3s. Okay, it's easy to not really worry about it in 2s because it's just 2 targets. But when it comes to 3s, you definitely want to take advantage of that. What I mean by that is whatever target you want to Burn Embrace, echo the other target. Okay, so if I want to Burn Embrace my priest here, I want to echo the mage first, so that we get the benefit of both. So everyone get because when you do that, you split the life bind. That means all the healing is shared. Your AoE healing is gonna be that much better. Okay, at this point we have wings coming in from the ret, so we're a little scared here. Mage gets stunned. Immediately, I'm gonna be looking for rescue. Okay, positioning is always gonna be easy. Everything's gonna be easier if you have proper positioning, right? So if I can make our positioning better, we don't have to force too many cooldowns. So I'm immediately going to toss and find the closest pillar, toss him behind the pillar, go for a Dream Breath, give myself a little bit of a gap. Okay, they get right over to my priest here, immediately going to time dilate. Again, ret, you got to respect the ret damage. It is really high. So we get Dream Breath off reversions, we got time dilation up. At this point, we're just going to go for a Dream Projection. Dream Projection, I mean, people ask me when to use it. Honestly, man, just almost on cooldown, all right? The second burst hits, and especially in 10:05, it's going to be a 1-minute cooldown. Just use that. I pretty much always use it in a cooldown. And you can prioritize it if you need dispels as well. And then also, just a side note, because I know I get so many questions on it, how do you explode Dream Projection? Dream Projection changes your first action bar, and for me it's my second button on here. On this action bar, you don't repress Dream Projection. On your action bar, it's going to change. You hit the explode button. All right, so at this point, damage is getting really high. We did all of our rotation here, so this is where the opportunity to use Spirit Bloom. Okay, I used Echo, I used Reversion, Verdant Embrace, and Dream Breath, all on cooldown. If I need more healing, that's when I'm opting to Spirit Bloom. Okay, out of cooldowns here to use defensively, I'm going to try to contribute offensively. Throw a Living Flame, maybe Disintegrate, go for a Dream Breath here. So at this point, they bomb Adrenaline Rush, and now this is cooldowns from the Rogue. I pop a Rewind just because, again, I'm kind of out of cooldowns here. Something I could have done better is probably utilize stasis in this opener, which I didn't. I really should have. Priority for stasis, if possible, is going to be pre-echo before the stasis, then Verdant Embrace, then echo again, then Dream Breath. Ideally, that's what you always want to be doing. It blinds me. I'm going to trinket that blind into a Verdant Embrace. We overlap the dispersion. Maybe could have waited out, but regardless, he would have got a sap off it anyway, so... Okay, they're going to swap over to me. I pop my wall, reversion onto myself, and they're back on the priest again. Okay, Verdant Embrace, echo again, looking for a Dream Breath. Okay, verdant. So all right, so actually that was a bit mishap right there. What I just did, if you guys saw. So I dream breath, then I verdant embraced. Don't do that. Okay, it's 40% increased healing. You see this buff right here? That's 40% increased healing on your next dream breath. If you're wasting that, big no-no when it comes to AoE healing. Okay, so before I do Spirit Bloom here, we get a full kidney out of myself. Still not looking too great for my Shadow Priest here. They're pumping. They get a full blind. He gets a stun. My guy's forced to trinket fear. They get both trinkets from them, or at least from the rogue. I get sapped off. We're gonna force a swap. Mage does an excellent job mass invising the swap. They're still just absolutely cranking. We're gonna time delete them, throw them behind the pillar. Go for an echo again and try to knock away the rogue for a second. Try to root him. I don't know why that root didn't work there. Reversion. Go for dream breath. Echo again. Gonna try to reapply that shroud, and then Spirit Bloom. Okay, again, Spirit Bloom is just kind of your filler when you don't have Verdant Embrace and Dream Breath up. Your basic rotation is just going to be those three. I say Spirit Blooms for when I really need them on there, because that could be such a life-saving heal. And if you happen to not have Spirit Bloom either, that's when you're going to Living Flame. Okay, we get a full Hodge onto myself here. I'm just going to end up trading Emerald Communion, because we got another AR, Adrenaline Rush from the Rogue. Gonna try to play a little offensive. We get a full poly, so I'm gonna try to play a little offensive on that. I am running the Klepto. I call it Klepto, which is like the old Kleptomania. But I tipped the Scales Fire Breath there. Reason I'm running that is because I did that is because I have the Fire Breath talent, so that is a completely purge. So it purges all of his hots. So when he does that, we get our goes. I can completely purge him out. I'm gonna push in for a Sleep Breath or Sleepwalk out of that. We force out Bubble, which is excellent. Damage is still incredibly high here, so I don't know what kept happening with my Dream Breath. It just like, kind of wouldn't go off. I don't know, maybe it's me messing with the wrong button or whatever, but full blind here, no out on this, but luckily we kept our hots rolling. We have our double Reversion, double Dream Breath up. He should be okay. We force out Cloak. Mage does a good job peeling. We get sapped off. So much CC, man. Okay, we get a beautiful double Fear. They can't dispel both of them. I'm gonna push in for a Sleepwalk out of that. We get a poly onto the rogue. At this point, we're just gonna try to keep pumping some dam. I get my heals up, try to help out, contribute some damage. I was throwing out some slows to these guys, and then I'm gonna full charge up a Fire Breath. Somehow the Ret just tops himself. I really thought that was gonna be the kill there. Completely tops him up with an NS afterwards. At this point, we're going back to our basic rotation: Reversions, Verdant Embrace, Dream Breaths. Keep rotating it through. So I use my stasis here, kind of just using everything on cooldown at this point. When damage gets really high and you know, dampening starts ramping in, just gotta do what you gotta do. So I Verdant Embrace him there. Gonna go for use my stasis. Nice mass. I take the advantage of in the mass to cast Nullifying Shroud. Whenever I can, casting these Fire Breaths. Like I mentioned, you can use these as like single Fire Breaths just to throw on a little bit of damage, but I'm playing the Purge talent, so I'm gonna try to get big ones whenever possible. Okay, I go for a Sleepwalk. We MC at the same time. Not the biggest mishap on that. So I Deep Breath here. Probably not the best Deep Breath. I was just trying to contribute something to there. So we have Altar up. If you do play with a mage, make sure you always keep an eye on their Altar. Don't throw too much healing into it, because it's just going to be wasted. We get our full hots up here. We have double Reversion, double Dream Breath. Gonna Dream Project. Whenever you Dream Project, if you can, try to make sure your teammates are clumped up. At some points, it's not going to be possible. I'm just trying to get as much healing out as I can. Probably would have been better to maybe hold off a minute just to get an AoE Dream Projection on that one, though. Okay, Disintegrating. As mana gets low, because I run the Energy Loop talent, if you do, try to sneak in as many Disintegrates as possible, just to help out with your mana. Okay, Verdant Embrace, Echo Reversion. Getting a kidney out here. My mage gets Hodge. He still has blocks, so we're not too worried. Okay, Time Dilation, Echo again. Dream Breath here probably next. Oh, my priest kind of got in trouble over there. Gonna Verdant Embrace, Echo again. Gonna opt to pull him. He disperses at the same time. Not a bad trade. You know, sometimes you want to communicate to your teammates. If you don't have any of those cooldowns left, communicate to your teammate. Can you trade a defensive cooldown just to allow me to recover a little bit easier? So I called for him to disperse and just allow us to get a recover. At this point, mana is pretty much shot on his side. I'm at 20%. Pretty close game to being over, so didn't really worry about. Damn, that's a big damn right there. Don't worry about that. And then at this point, try to play offensive, right? This Druid's going for a drink. That is our opportunity to just pump it. So I push in, get a Living Flame crit. That's what I'm talking about with that Scarlet adaptation. When you have that stacked up, your next Living Flame is going to be pretty massive. And then I push in here for Tip the Scales Deep Breath, and we're able to knock it off with some fireworks. And that is going to be the ball game on this one. So, you know, big takeaway on these guys is Obviously, your rotational stuff I talk about in like my other videos, reversion, burn embrace, dream breath, in that order. Careful your positioning. Really utilize rescue as a big defensive cooldown. Okay, if the second big cooldowns come in, opt to use rescue before you use your other cooldowns. It's such an easy ability, and it can help way more than like a time dilation or a spirit bloom or something like that. Right? If you can avoid the damage, avoiding damage is greater than healing damage. And then play offensively when you can, man. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. You don't have to play an offensive build. Just throw in one living flame, maybe a low combo point. I call it combo point. Low level fire breath, and you know, see what happens. See what happens. But that's gonna be it for this one, guys. If you guys do like this type of content, make sure you guys let me know in the comments. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.